And she said, well, I heard you and Dad arguing. I go, yeah, we had a disagreement. I go, but we're fine. She's like, are you sure you're okay? I said, honey, we are always going to be okay. Okay, but we disagree. Just like you disagree with your sisters, just like you disagree with me. I go, Dad and I are not the same person. We disagree. We see things differently. Feelings were hurt, and we need to discuss it. I go, and so don't ever worry. We will always figure it out.
Hello everyone, we are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Good morning, honey.
Good morning,
How
sunshine.
you doing? I like your hat.
Thank you.
It's good to
It's a
see
new
you.
hat.
How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty rested, actually. It's been a little crazy here at our house. We have a new addition to the family, and this family member doesn't sleep through the night all the time. And so this new family member is Abby's puppy named Riley May.
Okay.
And so her sleep schedule hasn't really lined up yet with ours. So last night I got pretty good sleep for the first time in about 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I know. I don't usually hear it for some reason.
You do not.
Me and the other kids are just kind of snoring away, huh?
Yep. Nobody's noticing it except for me. And thank goodness I do, because I don't want to clean it up.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I had a list, but I think you had an idea. So I figured we should go with your idea.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so kind to you on
Yes.
camera.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about some connection strategies. I think that would be pretty amazing. What do you think?
Sure. But are we talking about connection strategies with you and me, or with our kiddos?
Both.
Oh.
Just connection strategies I think could help other people to be able to learn how to, well, just have a philosophy of connection in their family. Mm-hmm. Before I do, though, I want to ask you, have you ever noticed that I always bring an extra pair of socks with me when I go golfing, even in the simulator?
No.
You haven't noticed that?
No.
Do you know why I do it? What do you mean? Does that mean yeah or no? I always bring an extra pair of socks when I go golfing because I might get a hole in one.
You even had on the golf simulator. Like, you're so silly. That's pretty bad, babe.
You're laughing though.
But you go even on the golf simulator? Like what? You make
Well,
it a
because
plug.
I know you're going to say, well, you never really go real golfing. You just go on your golf simulator.
Are you promoting a golf simulator for everyone's house for connection?
Yes, I have a code for everybody to use. I should, as many times as people walk away wanting to get one.
Does it bring connection?
It does bring connection, actually. See?
It
It's a good
does.
setup.
Please explain.
Okay. Well, it's fun and we get to hang out and so we're connected. Me and the guys.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about anything important. We just kind of get to play golf and jaw jack with each other, and that's connection for men.
Okay. Is it connection with
How does
the
it,
family, though?
How does it work for women?
We definitely don't do golf simulators. That would not
Is
be
it more complicated than that?
But how is it connection for the family is
Oh.
what I was wondering. That's
Kinda
the
works.
topic today.
Works similarly, but
Not
especially
really.
with me and Drew's.
Yeah. But not really.
No, so I feel like you and I have not only been learning, but also been coaching a lot around the topic of how do busy, strong people have connection in relationship, whether it's between husband and wife, whether it's between parents and their kids. What's some of the philosophy behind how to stay connected? Plus also, what are some of the strategies, like applicable type strategies with that? So I know we have learned that, there has to, like, I feel like even in marriage, we all make we have our vows, right? And then if you ask people a question, what's your goal in marriage? What's your goal? And a lot of times people will say, well, we're building this thing over here together, or we're working towards this retirement goal, or, and you have to kind of stop them and say, well, okay, well, the first one's like a business goal. The second one you just said was kind of a financial goal, but what's your marriage goal? And they'll say, well, we want to raise great kids, and we want to make sure that they're well equipped and everything else. I'm like, okay, but that's a parenting goal, right? But what's your marriage goal? And you have to kind of keep digging on this topic until people get to a point where they start saying, really, we want to be happy, and I'm like, well, okay, well, what's happiness mean for you? Because it might mean two different things for two different people.
Right.
What does that mean? And then typically, eventually, what they get to is they realize that they haven't really thought through a specific intentional goal of their marriage or of their relationship with their kids. And what it comes down to ultimately, because it's the way we're wired, is that eventually you get to the point where it's like, really what I want is I want really deep connection. I want to really be deeply connected. We have such a desire for it. And so, we have learned that, okay, when you get to the point where you realize that this is your goal, now how do you actually start working towards that goal? How do you tangibly start putting effort towards it? And I think one of the first ways is just understanding the philosophy that it's like a binary goal. And what I mean by that is there's only two options, right? There's either everything that I'm doing, the things that I'm doing either create connection or they create distance. But there isn't something in the middle. There isn't like 10 different shades of versions in between where it's like, well, I do want to be connected, and I would be connected if you didn't do that, right? I would like to be connected, but I'm still struggling with this thing I haven't forgiven you about. I would like to be connected, and when all of a sudden you start being more connected to me, then I'll be more connected to you. Like, you see, there's only whatever I say, think, do, does it actually promote connection? Because if it doesn't, it automatically promotes distance, right? And this is like something that I know that I've had to really work on, because you don't even realize how unhealthy of habits you can develop in how you handle relationship. I mean, I don't know that any of us really haven't learned somewhere along the way, whether it's from the world or from our upbringing or whatever, that the concept of justified resentment. If you do something to hurt me, then I get to do something to hurt you, or if you do something that I don't like, then I get to punish you with distance, whatever it may be. I feel like we've all been in environments where this has happened to us. We learn to do it. I mean, this is when you hear statements like, well, if somebody wrongs me, then I'm done with them forever. It's like, there's all these unhealthy habits, and then people wonder why they're so lonely. So that's one of the first things. It's like, just number one, do you have a real goal? And is your goal the right goal? Because the goal really should be about connection. I think everything else will fall into place around that. With our kids, it's like we're constantly thinking about how do we stay deeply connected both ways, them to us, us to them. And there's a lot of intentionality that has to happen within that, which we can talk a little bit about. Your thoughts?
Quite an intro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to add right now.
Coach Greg's in the house.
I guess so. I better step off. No, everything. I don't have anything to add other than I think it's like one of the biggest thing about connection is that, both parties want to do it. I think that's one of the most painful parts is if one party wants to do it and the other party does not want to do it. And it doesn't have to look perfect, but it doesn't have to look like you're willing and wanting to. And that goes for both husband and wife and children to their parents, I mean, if we're talking more just like kind of us on this episode, maybe diving into the kids part in the next episode, I think we have to be the example. Kids learn from watching mom and dad. It's like, I know it's going to come as a shocker, but Greg and I got in an argument like a week or so ago. And him and I didn't get along. We didn't agree on a topic is the moral of the topic. We just did not agree on the topic or what was going on.
Yep. And
we need to take a pause and talk about it the next day. We were both tired. It was the wrong time of the night. All the stuff, right? Like, nobody gets in a fight in the right time of the night, though. I'll say that much. It's always at the wrong time of the night.
Yeah, and it's funny because we're both exhausted and both had stress. You had a lot of stress going on.
Yes, and we think this is the time.
The next morning that were stressful, that were weighing on you. And really what we were desiring was, can we hang out a little bit and be connected? And then we ended up getting in a fight.
Yeah. So it was overall just, I mean, you laugh about it now, but at the time it's really not funny.
Yeah.
And so we had gotten in an argument. We needed to discuss it. But the next day, Abby said, "Are you okay, Mom?" And I said, "Oh, I'm fine, honey." She's like, "I know, but I heard you and Dad arguing." I'm like, "Yep, we definitely disagreed." And I think if you lie to your kids, like, "I don't know what you heard. What?
Yeah.
What was that? What? You heard the arguing?" Like, they're kind of like, "What?" Like,
Yeah, the neighbors heard it.
yeah. Well, not this time.
No, this one.
This one was inside. But and she said, "Well, I heard you and Dad arguing." I go, "Yeah, we had a disagreement." I go, "But we're fine." She's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" I said, "Honey, we are always going to be okay. Okay, but we disagree. Just like you disagree with your sisters, just like you disagree with me." I go, "Dad and I are not the same person. We disagree. We see things differently. Feelings were hurt, and we need to discuss it." I go, "And so don't ever worry. Like, we will always figure it out." And she just gave me this peace in her eyes, like, I knew that, but I needed to hear that. Like, I mean, we've been married now almost 22 years, and I feel like our kids feel more rooted in us and in our family and in our faith and in our purpose in life than ever. But they need to hear that. And it's okay if you're arguing. You know what I mean? Like, healthy arguing is okay. Like when you're with somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you might not see eye to eye on every little thing. And so explaining that to your kids is A-okay, because then they see, oh, so when you are married, you're not going to always agree. And it's okay to not always agree. But it doesn't mean the next day you're moving out and
That's right.
the family's splitting up.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that, okay, this argument gets to a point where all of a sudden somebody just packs her stuff up and leaves.
Correct.
And we've had plenty of arguments through the time they've been alive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But we have always had a philosophy. We don't go anywhere on each other.
That's right.
Like we always stick things out. We don't just stick things out. We work things out.
Yes, exactly.
Even if we have to go into it, and it's another part of, like, I feel like, I don't know. There's a difference between having what the world would say is a covenant of relationship with marriage or whatever versus a covenant of connection. They're really, they shouldn't be two different things, but they are two different things.
Right. And I just want to plug in there, when Greg and I have arguments, stuff like that, like, this is like a normal argument of disagreement. This is not like escalating to levels of harm or anything like that. Like, sometimes people can think like you're sticking this out in some abusive thing or something like that. Our conversations are because we were upset because we hurt each other's feelings. Yeah. Like, this is like, and so I think it's important for people to understand the importance and know that, like, kids should see what it looks like to have a healthy argument and what it looks like to have a healthy makeup, and to discuss it and to be okay with it, and to let them know that, like, connection is going to, take work. It takes work to say, hey, I'm going to choose to connect with you versus disconnect with you. I'm going to choose, even when my feelings are hurt, to stay in it, to win it with you, versus say, actually, I'm tapping out and I'm just going to disconnect from now on every time you say something I don't like. I think there's something to say to your kids when they say to you, like, is everything okay? No, we're more than okay, honey. We just had a disagreement, and Daddy and I were not, like, on the same page. Our feelings were hurt. We want to discuss it, but nothing's changing. We both love you guys. And I think in those times specifically, that's when you need to work harder when you look in your kids' eyes to realize how important real connection is. Like, because in the end, when husband and wife disconnect, there's disconnection in your household too, by default. If you and I are disconnected and we're not seeing eye to eye, and we're both going to stand in our place of I'm right, she's wrong, or, vice versa, like, there's disconnection in you and me, which we don't want. Neither one of us really ultimately want it, but the kids don't want that. Right. I tell them all the time, like, you're my best friend. I'm going to argue with you until, we go to heaven, like.
Maybe beyond.
I don't hear there's arguing in heaven. That wouldn't be heaven to me. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think so, but, like, I just say that all the time because it's like, that's just real connection. Now, the important part, like you were talking about, is how do you actually set up to have a successful connecting relationship, both husband and wife and kids, because it does not just happen. Like, the minute you sign that paper to get married, or you say your vows, that's not like, and great, we'll stay connected for the rest of our lives. It takes real work.
It takes real work. It takes real intentionality. It takes actually strategies. And it's an undertaught thing. Like, I mean, when growing up, did you ever hear, hey, here's some strategies that you can apply when you're getting into an argument that can create distance? What's a strategy you can apply about when you do have a disagreement? How do you actually get into agreement? How does each person get heard? Like really heard and not debated and not defended and everything else. Like, how does it actually happen? What does that even look like? And it's always seemed like such a mystery because, it isn't taught. And maybe it is. And I just haven't really been around it.
Maybe we haven't applied it. I don't know.
We've had to dig pretty deep though, to try to find really useful, godly principles that actually can work and be applied. But, we'll talk about that in the next episode, but just to finish up with, kind of what you're saying, I do agree there needs to be a covenant between both parties, right? And because, there's probably some people out there right now that are a little stuck in feeling like they're the only one. But we'll get some strategies about helping everybody get in the same page, because I know some of these strategies have really helped us. They help our kids quite a bit as well. And we'll talk about them next time. Okay. Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.